I'm Danny, and this is the Scream Princess podcast. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Scream Princess podcast. I'm here today with Allan Bryce of Darkside Magazine. And as you can see, I've got the chili sauces out again.
Do you think I'm going to make it?
I think you will, because I know that you're a bit of a chili fiend, probably more so than anybody else who I've had do this during the festival. But I saw a video of you at Christmas, which was a particularly hot chili sauce. And yeah, if you can do that, then these will literally be like juice for you.
Well, the thing about chilies, right, is that they measure the heat. You probably know this. They measure the heat by Scoville,
yes,
as they call it. But I think the one that I've got, my wife Yanni's son bought it for me, and it was a gummy bear,
right?
Chili, and I thought, I'd have that, and popped it in, and it really was very super hot, and it was like, I don't know, 10 million Scovilles or something. And most of these things are, you could check, but I don't know.
Yeah, these don't have them on. I was speaking to Dean, and he said like it's you can go and get them tested, because he knows like the Scovilles of the chilies before they've been made into the sauces, but obviously then they get like, mixed with all kinds of other things. And you can have it tested, but that's just an extra cost that,
It's not worth it.
It's not like a legality. I thought it would probably have to be a legal thing.
You can do that in the post-mortem anyway. It all comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no one's died yet. I think the only one that came close was me. On the
I just tried my super hot one.
That was okay though. I had a very little bit. So I think the first day, Dean kind of laid them out like this. So we've got 5 different sauces. Most of these actually aren't that hot until you get towards the end. But the last one, we had quite a big dollop of it. And the thing is, it's his chili sauce company. He knows how hot it is. So I trusted him. And I had this big dollop of it. And it kind of started okay. And then I just sort of progressively... Yeah, and then when it got into my stomach, I felt it burning its way down. And then I honestly felt like I was being melted from the inside out. Like, it wasn't like any kind of stomachache or cramp or anything I've ever had. It was like... And I actually got off and I was over there and I was like flapping and dancing and just like trying to come back to life. And then it was, I subsided and it was fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the first one, I'm doing this in a different order. This is the Video Shop Tales of Terror 2 sauce.
Okay.
So we've got our own sauce. It's toffee apple flavoured sweet chilli.
Sounds nice. It's
got no apple in it because I've read the ingredients. So I don't know how you can make toffee apple without, and it hasn't got loads of additives or anything either, so I don't know, I'm not a flavour expert.
Right.
But I'm not usually a fan of sweet chilli, however I really like that, and I think because it's got a slight sourness to it as well.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a cracker. I'll do it too.
Oh, so that.
So help me start a cracker and then we'll just...
So we just dip them in, yeah?
Well, we'll just kind of pour a little bit on
I'll
a cracker.
pour a little bit on, okay. Right,
do you want me to do it?
Shake it up a bit.
You can shake it up a bit. Maybe that's why it's less hot today, because I haven't shaken them, so maybe I'll give them all a shake.
Right, okay, so let's get a cracker.
No, I don't think I've got the lid on that one properly.
Let's have a look.
So this one's not hot, but it's nice. It's a nice flavour, thank you. You'll have to speak to Lal about getting yourself a bottle of this one because... Oh, what's going on?
It's nice. It's a tiny bit hot, but not. Nothing offensive.
I think it's slightly hotter than a normal sweet chilli sauce, but it's got a slight sourness to it as well.
Yeah.
But the chilies on the side, because that's got 3 chilies. This one's got 4, and I think the one with 4 is less hot, to be honest. So that's Handle with Scare.
Handle with Scare. I like it. Right, let's try that one.
Handle with Scare.
Handle with Scare. Oh, actually I've got quite a lot on there.
This is how I have my meals for this weekend during the festival. I'm just sitting here eating chili sauce, and what do you think?
It's nice. Again, I agree with you.
It's less hot than the...
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that's that hot.
Right, so what's up next? Let's have a look.
This is like a barbecue style sauce.
Speaking with tongues.
Mm.
Right, we'll give that a some go. Give it another.
Give it a little shake.
So these are for sale, are they? Not in the video shop, somewhere.
Yeah, you can actually buy these online. He does like boxes of 4 or,
right.
You know, or you can buy singular sauces. I think he does a lot of festivals, chili festivals, horror conventions and things. But yeah, I was like, oh, Dean, are you going to the festival? Do you fancy bringing me some chili sauces? And he actually bought me 5. We bought me 4. And then I nabbed one of the video shop ones.
Mm.
What do you think? The barbecue one. I think this
Well,
would be good. This would be good on burgers or with nuggets.
It would be.
They start getting a bit hotter after this.
They're still hot. You know, they've got that heat in them.
He said he does have a lot of hotter ones. He just wasn't sure how I would
How it goes.
how it would go. So this one is a bit hotter.
Classic name, this one. Do you see the name of this one?
No.
Sauceperia.
Oh.
Should have the music going, shouldn't we? As we try this one.
This is the first one I actually tried in the order we did it in the first time, and this one's got a kick. Not like too hot, but it's got a kick.
Oh. I've got loads of it. Okay, well.
That one's got a kick, right? I'm gonna give it a go, just to join you.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Probably shouldn't have had quite as much as that.
You're very brave. Oh,
Well, you've got a lot there.
well, that's okay.
Have a drink. Right.
Yeah,
What's the
but that's
value?
that's more like a normal hot sauce, isn't it?
Do you
Like
find, how many times have you done this challenge?
about 7.
So you finding it easier the more you do it? Because you do get acclimatised. It's a bit like
Yeah, but
you
I
go-
don't think that quickly. This is the hot one, so this one I would. Do you know what I've actually been doing? The first time I made the mistake of kind of having a big dollop on my
Terrifier.
Art attack.
Oh,
It's the
art
character's
attack.
got
Yeah, of
art,
course,
isn't it?
art is art.
But
It's terrifying.
what I've been doing is pouring it on a chip and then just dipping my chips. So if you want to pour some on one, and then we can just dip into there. So you put some on there, and we can just dip.
What? Because it's too hot to have.
Well, you can have a dollop. I mean, go
Oh
for
no,
it.
no, I've done loads of it. Look. There you go.
Actually, I did this before with Alex and Mike, and then Mike actually decided to eat the hot one. So I'm having this much on mine.
What do you think?
Well,
That's another dip, I think.
it's definitely the hot one. The hot one.
This has the real flavour of real chilli.
Everyone's been so much braver than me. I'm like, I'll just have this much, and he's like, put it in. What do you think? That's like a.
I can't really work it out. It's nice.
It's nice. He's like, I'm going for the drink.
That's good.
It is good.
Try your one.
Yeah.
Not that one. This
We've
one.
just tried this one.
We just tried it.
I did just try this one.
I think,
Try it on
to be
camera.
fair, Danny's tried some.
I have.
No, we try it on camera.
Try it on camera.
Yeah.
My mouth's, give me a second, because my mouth's still feeling that one, so I don't have to.
How was it the day after then?
Luckily, it was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No pains?
To be
No,
fair,
no, I was alright.
to be fair, that is almost as hot as that.
Is it?
Yeah, almost. But then I had a lot of that. I couldn't have the
Couldn't
amount.
have that much.
The amount I have, if I put that amount on, it would. It's,
The hottest one I ever had was something called the Evil One, and it was a boss, and I worked on like one of the babe shows at the time,
Right.
and it was like a daytime thing though. And I was wearing just like some little knickers and a little vest, and my boss said to me, if you have a drip of this on your tongue, you can have as long off air as you need. And I was like, great, because I don't want to talk to anybody else today. So it's like, it comes with a pipette, and it's like a white, like opaque liquid, and he did it first, and he was like just playing it cool until he'd done it to me too, and then he was like started dying, and he did one drip on my tongue, and it took a minute, and then I literally just did not know what to do with myself. I was like it lasted for ages as well, and then I had loads of milk, and then the milk like congealed, and I was like, now I feel ill. So it was like,
well, that's what I did when at Christmas time when I had this gummy bear,
yeah.
and I just thought, oh, obviously I could eat it. And obviously it was really super hot. It was much hotter than that,
Your nose was.
and my nose started bleeding.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Oh,
I was like, that
They were going, oh my god!
but
you
you
know,
didn't
your nose-
even notice.
No, I was going, and then they were going, drink loads of milk.
And that's worse because, like,
There's
I think
probably
this-
only oat milk to
Oh,
drink.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, that's all I had here. So if you need it, there's a strawberry, I think there's a soy milkshake on the table. But it was like, yeah, no, that was.
It does have an after effect on you, you know.
Yeah.
Whilst you're drinking
You're
that.
beginning with the eyes now.
It's the eyes. You were very bright there, and you can't feel it like here or anything because I felt it like burning its
No,
way down.
I do feel it slightly, but it's more in around my tongue
Right.
and in my mouth.
It's weird how it gets people differently.
And
Because
then
mine was
I
just
mean, it
like,
doesn't last for long.
No, it
But
does wear
and
off.
the only thing that I love about this is what Yanni's son bought me, this stuff, which is super hot.
Do you feel like he might not like you?
I'm getting that feeling, yeah.
Did you get used to sign things?
he
He knows he likes hot stuff.
yeah, he goes out with hot sauces. So he was trying to get me the hottest sauces. You know, let's say last year he bought me a sauce supposedly hotter called Crazy Bastard,
Right.
and Yanni broke it
Oh no.
because she was rearranging the cupboard and it fell
He
out.
put it in the front
Yeah,
of
they
the
do
cupboard.
always come in the glass jars, so you do
Mm.
have to be careful because I'm.
But I
Yeah.
have to say what I love about this regret, right? So I'm making I love making chilies and stuff like that.
Yes.
And yeah, so if I'm doing a chili, and the chili is not quite there, just even a tiny dab of that in it will just make the whole chili.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Explode.
Like with
This
this
is
one,
what
it's
most
probably
people
more
are
for
doing
cooking.
with these.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were going to, I don't know what you know, if you, I don't really use
Do you know what
these
I love it on? This one.
chicken wings.
No, don't give it.
That would probably kill
Shepherd's
you.
pie. I like a bit on a shepherd's pie.
Mm.
To spice up my shepherd's pie.
My cooking, I love doing a bit of cooking, as Yanni knows, and leaving the kitchen perfectly tidy. Maybe not. But she will go to me, what have you been doing out here? Like a grenade's gone off. But one of the things that I like is there's one ingredient I reckon can go in everything you're cooking, and that
Chili.
is Worcester sauce.
Oh,
Put in a bit of Worcester sauce in your
Right.
shepherd's pie. it
well, I
goes
do
perfect.
similar, but Henderson's relish because it's vegan and Worcester sauce has got fish in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's got
So,
because my daughter
anchovies.
is Amber. My
Yeah.
daughter is vegan, and for a while we were making all these things. We
She
put in
didn't,
it, and she
yeah.
didn't know. And then
Yeah.
I told her. She goes, "No, that's got anchovies in it."
Yeah, because I love a Bloody Mary. So
Yeah.
my friend told me about Henderson's relish.
Oh, yes,
which
try that.
is,
Does it taste the same?
Pretty much, yeah, without the anchovies. So yeah, and that's the same. Put it in shepherd's pie, put it in a spag bol, or
Yeah.
whatever you're cooking. But also a Bloody Mary.
Mm.
I actually fancy a Bloody Mary now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the mood for a Bloody Mary. I'm always in the mood for a Bloody Mary.
So where's your podcast? We'll have to listen to the podcast.
Have to have a listen. So it's the Screen Princess podcast. It's on Spotify, it's on Amazon Music, and it's on YouTube and Apple Music. But obviously I put the video version on YouTube as well. But it's actually on my personal YouTube channel. I've created a playlist for.
So we go on your
so-
channel and
Yeah.
and
Well,
follow
there's.
you
I think
and
I'll post. I'll send a link for
Send
the,
a link
for
because
the-
we will do that, and then they can look at. I can look at the other people who tried the challenge.
Yeah, so I've had so far, and I think you might be the last one doing the challenge. Some people have opted out. Some people have been like, no, I'll talk to you, but I'm not doing the challenge. So I've had people come on during the festival that haven't done it. So I've had Alex and Mike from Tis Films, Tony Marden did it, and Lauren actually did up until this one. Lauren did have a go. Who else has done it? Well, you've done it. I forget who I've even had on the show, but I know a few people have tried it. So
Yeah.
we've had a few, and obviously Dean.
I like it. Well, we live in
Mm.
Cheam, as you know, the magazine's based in Cheam,
Yes.
and every year they have a thing called Feasty Fest,
Right.
and they take over Nonsuch Park, which is the main big park in
Mm.
Cheam, and they have bands who usually they're bands who they had their day,
Right.
but they maybe had one hit. It's like Scouting for Girls, I think.
I really like Scouting for
People-
Girls.
People, yeah, there were a lot
I
of
really
people.
like them. I saw them at an iTunes festival in Camden once.
Well, anyway, so those people, they come along to these events. But one of the big things, it's musical day, and it's all kinds of stalls for food and all that. And one of the things that they do is the hot chili challenge. And my daughters would go, "Why don't you go into it, Daddy? You know, you can win
you'd
it."
win, you'd win.
Because they were up on stage and they all sort of go, "This one's
Yeah.
such and such a heat," and they'll go, "This one's 1 million Scovilles." I'm going.
Yeah, no, I think that sauce, that opaque liquid one, that was something like that. It was ridiculous amount of Scovilles. The
But I
other
think-
sauce I've got is really good.
Yeah.
Tabasco but I got one in Texas from a liquor store because you
Mm.
can't buy alcohol. You can buy wine in a supermarket, but you can't buy any other alcohol in a supermarket. It's bizarre. They have liquor stores, and it was a scorpion chili Tabasco, and that's actually like as hot as this. Like I can put a tiny bit in my whole cooking, and I've ruined food by having a little bit too much of it in it, and like, I actually couldn't eat.
I think there's this weird thing that years ago I used to like going, if I went to an Indian, I'd have a foul hot. And
I've
I used to
never
go
had
in,
one.
and I remember once I went out with some friends of mine, Kevin might have been there, I'm not sure, but we were out in London, and I said, foul hot please, and he went, the waiter said, are you sure sir, are you sure? You know, and I said, yeah, and he goes, are you really sure? And I'm thinking, well, how bad can it be, you know? Anyway, I remember going off to Lou, and when I came back, one of my friends was choking because the meal had arrived and he'd taken a spoonful of it and he just couldn't. And he goes to me, how can you possibly eat this? You can't taste anything but like the heat of it. And, but that's the key thing with a foul curry. You know, once you're used to them, it's a good one if you can.
You
taste
do grow a tolerance because I used to be able to eat much hotter food because I used to eat it all the time. But now my partner doesn't eat hot food, so I tend to like either I put chili on my stuff afterwards or just not bother. And then I find now it's harder again. So
it is. I don't have foul hot anymore because it's the same thing as you get older. You know, you start to think, or if you get out of the habit of doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
If you did this challenge every day for a year, it'd be like
fine. You could be drinking it.
You'd be drinking it like straight out of the bottle.
And then Lauren said to me, "So what are you doing then? Like shots of it?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing shots of it."
In the eyeglass.
I'm not doing shots of it. Oh God, can you imagine this in your eye? I think Alex did rub his eye. I literally said, "Don't rub your eye," and he rubbed his eye. So I did like a reverse psychology thing there on him, but he did rub his eye. Oh, thank you for doing this.
Okay, it's my pleasure.
Honestly, I mean, have you done the hot chip challenge?
What's that?
There's a hot chip challenge, and they send it to you, and it's one like big
I've heard of
Dorito.
this, yeah.
I've never done it, but
no
one's meant to be able to get through.
It was yes, but it costs a lot of money for them. You have to pay a lot, don't you, for this?
It's like £10 for a chip or something.
A chip.
And it's like one Dorito.
Yeah,
it's a large Dorito.
And that's another thing, isn't it? Like it's like people do these things, silly things when you're younger. I mean, a friend of mine came around and he said he could eat a chilli, and we go okay, and he just took a couple of. I'm not going to. We tried growing some chilies down the garden, and once I said to Yanni, are these ready to eat? And I'm running under 10. Took a bite, and it was so hot. It wasn't even because it was green. It was supposed to be a red one, and it hadn't grown enough, and it was still had all that concentrated flavour in it. So it's almost like a rite of passage, isn't it? That when you're young, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I remember a day where I used to find Tabasco was too much though. Like when I was young, and my mum would be putting Tabasco on her food, and I'd be like, "That's so hot," because I tried it once, and
well, you can notice it, can't you, if you're not used to it?
Yeah.
I mean, and Tabasco is quite hot, actually. Really.
I quite like the flavour of it. I like it in a soup.
Yeah.
A bit of Tabasco adds a little bit of a kick.
Yeah. This is something we should do at the Shed of Hell.
Right,
so get a plug in for the Shed of Hell.
Yes, I'm going to have the guys on the same podcast, so we'll get some more plugs in.
Yeah, so Mike and Rick, Mike Smith and Lily, Girl Friday, they're going to do this event in Rushton, which is obviously...
Is it Northampton?
It's Northamptonshire, and you know, the thing I love is, you know, Mike is so obsessed with doing this, and we're supporting him all the way.
Yeah.
We're going to go up there. You're probably coming.
I am coming.
And it's going to be such a laugh. I, you know, however it turns out, because obviously it's not the sort of place that you'd automatically think, oh.
Then because they haven't got anything like that there, maybe, you know.
And I think he's sold loads of tables, and you know, his ticket sales are going well apparently. So. I think, you know, we'll have a laugh. It'll be a memorable
it'll be good.
And we'll all have a good time.
It'll be good.
So I might suggest a chili challenge table or something.
Yeah, well, Dean
he's got burlesque girls going as well. Did you know that?
I didn't know. He hasn't told me. I'm sure he'll tell me everything. Like horror burlesque, like with blood sports and stuff.
Yeah, he's got music. He's got yeah, he was telling me he's got burger vans and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he did tell me he's got the last food truck booked in.
Yeah.
So
he's got everything going.
Yeah.
For him, you know.
Apart from an ice cream van.
There's not an ice cream van.
Van yet.
Right.
Then you know. But you know, it's like because I suppose if it's a hot day, they might rather be somewhere else. You know.
Well,
but then
it's
on
July,
the other hand,
isn't
if it's I mean, you know, it's an event, and it would be great if it does well, because I'm not sure how, close to other big areas Rushden is.
I have no clue where it is on a map.
Well, they should put it on the map.
I don't even know where Northampton is on a map, to be honest. Is it in the Midlands?
Do you know the funny thing is, I have no idea where it is, but it's in. The event is taking place in this big old railway shed, and I did say to
because I did wonder why it was called the Shed of Hell, and then
but you know what? This is the weird thing. You might ask them about this. But the people who come there, however they get there, won't be able to get there by train because we're using the railway shed for the event.
Right.
So there isn't a railway station in Rushden.
Right.
So I said,
he said he's putting on
but he's putting on. I mean, I know we're doing one of those little park and ride.
Well, he
coaches.
said to me that the guests were getting picked up in a minibus, and I was like, well, I'll have travelled there by car, so I'll be able to drive for myself, or whether I'll drive or my partner will drive or one of us will drive. But
are you closer for where you are? I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm 5
5
hours north of here.
Oh, well, yeah.
Send in a minibus.
It's not from where we are. It's about 80.
No.
It's about 80 miles from where we are. So
Right.
we could drive, but we'll probably stay there.
Yeah, I'm going to stay, but we'll drive. We'll drive.
And he's got lots of very good guests, and it'll be really good fun.
I think Martine is
Martine's
there.
going.
Martine Bezick's there. Carolyn Monroe.
Yeah. And Pauline's going.
Pauline Pitt, yes.
I think Judy Matheson's not going now.
No, she can't go now.
She can't go now. But
There's going to be lots of guests, possibly Ian McCulloch. He's asked him. So
yeah, he's here today. So
yes, he'll have been roped into it.
But you know what? I think it's just going to be very, very memorable.
I think it'll be fun, and I love looking around all the stores. We did one in Hull a while ago, and they were there, and it was just super fun. Like, I think half of my Christmas presents were bought there by my boyfriend because I dragged him along and then he was walking around and just purchasing things. So always good.
It's like the bit here at Romford today. Some of it we've just been speaking to these people who do these artistic, black and white artistic books on famous horror films. I've never seen the art. They're very, very good. Very
I'm going to go and have a look. I think tomorrow, like today, is a Saturday today as we're doing this. I think I'll probably finish up all my podcasts today, and then tomorrow I can just go and actually look at stuff and do some shopping. Do some shopping. Yeah, so I've been up here in this little room most of the time, so hidden away. It's probably for the best, but thank you.
Okay, it's been great.
Welcome back to the Scream Princess podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Scream Princess podcast from Romford Horror Festival. And I'm here today with Rick Melton.
You lucky girl.
The infamous Rick Melton.
Yeah, lucky viewers.
Notorious, I would say, actually.
Drink me in, there are no bad bits.
So I've never had to really warn anybody before. But I did have to say, don't say anything on here that you don't want to go out into the world. And he was like, well, I'm going to.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
You sure it's going to be slung off pretty quick? Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be great. So Rick, I met at Darkside, or Darkfest, which is like Darkside Magazine's kind of convention. And you are the sole artist, really, for the Darkside Magazine covers.
Well, yes, I'm the only guy who'll work cheap enough.
Right.
I mean, that's it. In fact, pretty virtually free, really. So that's why the 150 covers on the trot. Not the world's best artists, but...
Well, I don't know. Pretty bloody good. Pretty bloody good.
But pretty bloody cheap.
And pretty bloody smutty.
yeah. In fact, we've got a bumper book of smut here, 420, hardbacked.
It's literally called Blood and Sluts.
I don't know how adult this is. Can we show anything of this?
Yes.
No, possibly.
I mean... Yeah, I mean, it goes on YouTube, so show something that you're allowed to show on YouTube.
Let me see. I think that's probably page 102, 116. No, I don't think. There's a cover. I think that's about all we can show you, but,
So how did you end up doing the artwork for the Darkside?
Well, what it was, I've been in the restaurant business like all my life. And then when I got into my 50s, I sold the sole business I had there. That gave me enough money for like 2 years to make it as an artist. So I painted a lot of horror pictures because I always loved horror, and I sent them to all the magazines world over, and I got rejections from everybody apart from the Darkside, right? Yeah, because he was desperate. It was probably sort of my brochure, you know, desperate idiot willing to work for nothing, and that sort of sold it. So he said, you know, I did the cover for him, another cover, then Arrow Video saw him, and it really wasn't that good, but again, it got me. I did about 30 Arrow Video covers on the trot, and that sort of got me into the industry, and then, you know, fortunately I got better, and I wound up here, sadly.
There's nothing wrong with being here. But you've always, obviously, like an artist, you've been drawing, I guess, since you were a kid. It's literally always been...
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Montana. And in Montana in America, yeah, it's on the Canadian border.
Why don't you have an accent?
Yeah, I have an accent.
Did you used to have an accent?
Yeah.
You did used to have an accent?
Yeah, being American. Well, not to start with, I had a British accent, which meant I got beat up most days.
Right.
But by the time I got an American accent, I come back to England and got beat up most days with an American accent. But while I was in Montana, it was at a time where they Universal had just sold all this sort of like catalogue to TV. So they had all the horror movies on, and us kids, we would sit and watch these movies, because this was the height of the Monster Kid thing in the early 60s. So, and I can remember, I was absolutely fascinated with this stuff. And they brought out Famous Monsters of Filmland that had Basil Gogos covers. And I used to look at this artwork and think, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for a living. I didn't get to do it 40 years later. But then they brought out the Aurora monster models with the beautiful covers by James Barmer. And I can remember the models weren't very good, but the covers were just brilliant. And I can remember looking at it thinking, yeah, I want to be an oil painter. I don't want to do nothing but oil paint, which is obviously how I work.
Right.
But see, this is the funny thing. When I got all these rejections, when I sent all these, I didn't have like a computer or anything when I first did it. I actually just sent physical prints to Fangoria, Gorezone. Right. There was loads of horror magazines back then, Rue Morgue, but they all said, no, we just went digital.
Right. Even back then?
Oh yeah, even back. Well, it wasn't that long ago when you think about it. This was, let's see, I've been doing it 20 years.
Right.
So the digital art.
Yeah, I suppose.
And of course, a traditional oil painter, especially one who works fast like me, because I work in can't really compete with the realism of digital stuff with layers and you know, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I know how some of them do it, because they go from being total crap artists to suddenly working on a pad and they suddenly become brilliant. Yeah. You know, so obviously, you know, it's not the same as oil painting, but so I was told that there's no future in this oil painting, but of course, like most things now, it's turned around with AI and everything. You're getting the digital stuff being less and less popular, because the more it gets dumbed down, that everybody can do something.
Well, there's not really a talent, is there, behind typing in what you want a computer to create for you?
My grandson can do more realistic portraits on his phone than I can paint in oil. Right. But of course, it's not the same thing.
No.
It ain't the same thing at all. There's the imperfections and everything, the brush strokes, stuff that some people might not like, but that is what makes it
a painting
desirable.
Yeah.
And so for the Darkside, I think I've done about 150 covers on the trot, and it's synonymous with that magazine. It's a retro horror magazine.
Yeah.
It's like done in a pulp movies, you know, style. You know, and it's becoming more and more popular. Yeah. And you know, it sounds like, oh, I'm at my own watch, you know, but it's become so popular now that I can't take on any commissions, or, you know, I'm like booked up. And considering it's a medium that everybody told me is dead, you ain't never going to make.
Yeah. But people are liking the retro now. So where, you know, people are kind of going back the other way, because like, even like with music, people are listening to vinyls again. And it's like, you know, it's like people want like that kind of tangible old school feel. And of course, all of the old like video VHS covers, they were like film posters, they were originally painted. And then, I mean, these days more often it's a few photographs of some of the cast from the set, and they've just been spliced together on digitally. And it's not the same, but people are now trying to.
Yeah, it's all generic. All these covers. I mean, let's ignore everybody out there. We can have a look through this ourselves. But,
I mean, there is stuff. I mean, some of this you can see. I mean, these are okay. Actually, I mean,
let's, let me see. There's.
I just think no full.
The thing I always
avoid.
Naked
pages out.
Yeah.
I do like the naked horror, though.
There's an awful lot of naked in here. Let's see if we forget the classic horror. Well, no, classic horror is basically done from stills, isn't it? So
that one's maybe a bit rude.
Let's do
What about this one? Hang on. There we go. That's
well, that's sort of like I'm sure we can do better than that.
Kylie
Minogue. Well, hey, look, there's Marilyn Monroe, Jane Mansfield. Let's see. I bet they're loving this out there, aren't they? So, ignore everybody, just crack on through here.
No, there is some amazing stuff there. And I've been lucky enough to be painted by Rick a few times.
Oh God, you're in here, aren't you?
Am I in there?
Oh yeah, you're in here.
I didn't know I was
let's
in
have a look in here now. Let's get to you.
There we go then.
Let's get to you now. Now you have been painted with respect.
I am.
There you go. Yeah. That's a little bit cheeky. That one with
this is one of my
Pennywise,
ones.
and that's the one with Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
So there you go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, a bit of reflection there. So that's the sort of style. Yeah.
So do you know what I love that you've been captured there? So this robe that I have. So I basically sent you a few photos of me, haven't I? In different outfits.
Oh yeah, it's all you.
Different outfits, different poses. Yeah. And that robe was a handmade robe that I got sent from the States, and it's like a Devore robe with these bat wings and like little Devore bats all over it. And you've captured that incredibly, because that's kind of a difficult thing to do, because like sheer clothing, I guess it's harder to.
Well, you're a hell of a model, Danny.
Thank you. So you did a few, didn't you? You did the one with Bela Lugosi, you did the Pennywise, you did me as Vampirella.
Oh, Vampirella, that's all in my last book.
Is that
we haven't got that. Yeah, Vampirella. We did Freddy Krueger.
Yes,
the best one was that with the wolf. That's been the most popular.
Yeah, the wolf one was good.
Yeah, it was really werewolf thing. You're laying there just, head back, and oh man, that is one hot picture. But sadly, they can't see that.
They can't see that because they've all sold
we
out.
Can reenact
sold
it.
out. I'll be the wolf.
Yeah. Yeah, right on.
I'll be the wolf. But yeah, I mean, like incredible stuff. And you're very, very quick. But you do start, like you told me, you start with pencil drawings and then you. Yeah. So how does this work? What's your process?
Obviously, with oil paint, you do a rough, because what's going to happen? It's no good like tracing anything. That's a waste of time. And if you do, you just get this horrible, I don't know, you can tell there's something, it becomes pointless. You might as well use a photograph once you're doing that. So you just freehand in a drawing, because what's going to happen, once you put the oil paint on, it's so thick, it disappears anyway. So you're only using that as a, and then obviously it's see, one of the reasons people are loving this is people aren't computers. So you get to the point where you get fed up. When watching a movie like The Business you're in, and you'll have like CGI dust.
Right.
They're being exposed. Nobody's coughing. Nobody's squinting. Nobody's reacting to that. It's like looking at you've obviously seen The Exorcist, the old film, where they had to stick them in a freezer box.
Right.
So the breath would come out. You could see those actors are frozen. There is when William Friedkin said, "Oh, we could have done that CGI now with the breath," it wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
It would have been nowhere near as good a movie.
Yeah.
And so it's all going back. People want practical effects. They want to see where a team of guys have built something animatronic. A real skill. Because obviously with AI, if we want to have a dinosaur running around here, you've only got to put a prompt in. We could have it, and you could have it running around. Anybody can do that now.
Yeah.
So that's what's killing it. I am boring these people.
No, this is what it's all about.
I don't think I use the word shitless, but we've got to be boring in that way.
You can pretty much say whatever you like. I'm not a woke podcast.
So shut up,
you can
Rick.
Say what you want.
Next, please.
No, it's true though. That is true. I think, and I prefer watching a film that has practical effects. rather than some like CGI blood splat. And I mean,
that's the worst.
I've used it myself because I've had no budget and that's what we could do. But you know, but
I should watch my mouth really.
If you can have somebody build it, and a lot of the people here actually I've worked with who have built practical effects for various movies that were in the festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just a nicer thing to watch, and it looks more real. And even if something doesn't quite look so real, you forgive it because you know.
Yeah, but that is some of the charm. This is what you want. You want to see, you know, people muck up. You know, any people watch it. That's part of this art. You know, people like in this book. There's 420 pages. A lot of them ain't the best artwork I've ever done. But people want to see it all. They want to see the mock-ups. So they just want to see. That's the trouble. That now everything has to be absolute perfect. See everybody's best. But when I'm looking at films I love from the 1950s, The Crawling Eye, you know, where they built the little castle, it don't look convincing. But you're absorbed into it. You think, I would love to be doing that job.
Yeah.
I would love to have made that and have this eyed creature with the tentacles crawling up, and of course you can see it's fake.
Yeah.
But we don't want real. We live in a real world. We don't want everything looking. It's like ultra realistic art. Photorealistic. People think it's clever. It's not. It's the easiest thing to do. You get people doing meticulous tracings for 2 or 3 days. Then they spend 6 weeks colouring every little bit in so it looks exactly like a photo. Who gives a shit? Nobody wants that. Just use a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same with the CGI. It's the same with anything. The beauty is in the mistakes. The human touch to everything. Yeah. I bet you wish you hadn't invited me in here.
No, it's been good actually.
This guy ever got to
Great,
shut up. Get down there and start selling some crap off your stall, Rick. Next, please.
No, it's speaking of stores, you go round to the horror conventions, and you always have a big stall with your like framed artworks to sell, and your books and magazines and all kinds of different pieces and t-shirts. I know you've got
see, I painted this. This is our sidekick here, Lily Thorpe, who's helping us out.
She's here today.
You'll be seeing her. You'll be interviewing her later.
I will have a little chat with her. Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got a website. So where can people buy your stuff?
I've got a new website, rickmeltonart.com, and then the old one's Donnelly Savage, that's still running.
Right.
Yeah. You can find me. Just put Rick Melton in.
Just put Rick
It'll
Melton.
come up.
Who's
That
your
twat,
favourite? What's your favourite piece that you've done? What's your favourite piece of artwork?
I should think probably the Spitting Witch. I don't know if we've got her in this book, because I think she's probably in the last.
Is she like a made-up person, or is she a?
No, she's made up.
Right.
But I always like this idea. You know when they had all the witch burning back in the. You've probably done films.
I have
like
been
that.
burnt at this. Yes.
And
Tom Lee Rutter burnt me at the stake.
Exactly. Well, this girl's being burnt at the stake, but she's still got an arrogant attitude, and she's just spitting on the Puritans. But I don't know.
I feel like they deserve it.
Is she in here? Let's see. We got some.
I mean, you have got some great stuff in there.
Oh, yeah, this is quite a nice one of the first Dracula movie, where and also that's okay. Where I don't know if you can see that, where he's holding the girl. I quite like the way that was captured. Can you get that?
Yeah.
Or we
You just have to wiggle it because of the
We just
light.
get a lot of reflection on there.
They'll have to buy the book.
Yeah.
You have to buy the book.
You can get the book at Wild Star Hearts.
At where?
They give you a good discount. They do all my t-shirts. They do all my
Right.
merchandising. My merchandising. It sounds so flash, doesn't it?
You are Flash.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Silly old fart.
No, you do have some great stuff in there. I'm going to come and have a little browse
that's
through.
fine,
I'm
nice.
going to come and have a browse through your
Oh,
store.
look, here's a nice one. That Jaws, I like that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
that
art.
can-
You can get away with that.
Yeah, we can get.
Free the nipple.
Can we actually see this? I haven't brought my glasses, so.
Shall I go close?
Yeah. But I always like the idea of the horror of the girl just.
Yeah.
As she did in the film.
didn't know.
Just head above the water, and this.
I actually have this irrational fear of sharks. I mean, it's not that irrational.
Oh, me
but
too.
the reason it's irrational is because I'm not going to go that deep in the sea where there's going to be one. Like, unless I've fall out of a boat or something. It's not going to happen. Like I will only go like this deep in the water.
Oh, I wouldn't even jump in a flipping it. I've got a fan, but she's a great girl. She's actually, yeah, Pennywise. She's modelled for some of my pictures. As soon as I see a beautiful woman, I've got to paint her. It's like painting, had to paint you about half a dozen times. Lily, this Sooty Blood in Australia, and she keeps inviting me over to go over there. But I said, I've freaking got this scene. Your phobia about sharks. And she said, well, look, Rick, I live 600 miles inland.
You've got to fly over the sea to
no,
get there.
that's it. I don't believe it. The buggers can hold their breath. I know they're out to get me. I know that. I really wanted to find this spitting witch, but
yeah, I definitely have a weird irrational fear of sharks. Just from Jaws, from watching Jaws and a few shark movies. But
yeah, well.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just sharks. Other things in the sea. I love this too.
Yeah, pretty. We got some nice sharky. Got some shark ones in here. I bet people watching this are so bored. Oh my God, this is the worst interview ever. What's he going to do next?
But you've got so many, like, you do paint so many different things. Lots of the old classic stars, but also like new people, made up bits and bobs.
There's a bare-assed woman in front of a snake. That's quite nice one.
I like this one as well. With the like, is that
it's for the
octopus.
Rick Melton monster box set.
Yeah. No, they are good. Like stuff like that. It's like it's tame enough. You can see a little bit.
It's me more. Oh no, actually, there's a picture with no clothes. I think we'll skip that.
You know what? I don't know how that works with YouTube because it's art. It's a painting. It's not.
Yeah, well, my wife poses for most of my paintings, so I don't think she'd be happy with you showing most of my paintings. Yeah, we're not going to find.
No. Well.
Oh, there's Sooty Blood. That's the Australian girl.
Right.
Not this one here. There, where she's licking a knife, and she modelled for 4 or 5 paintings. Beautiful face, but well, not so beautiful. Just licking a bloody knife. But yeah, enough of that.
Well, thank you so much for coming
on. You've had enough now, haven't you?
I haven't had enough.
Get your geriatric ass out of here.
No, but I'm going to switch you out for your sidekick, and he can tell us all about the Shed of Hell, which is a convention coming up in July.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a show, man. Anybody goes there, they're going to have a good time. Yeah. So whether you make any money or not, I don't know, but you're going to have a good time. So sorry about boring you all, and we'll get somebody interesting in now.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.